There's a common occurrence with like Dagestani fighters. I'm starting to figure out, bro. Where I feel as if they're always like injured or hurt of some sort, and I know what it comes from, and I'm absolutely 100% now knowing where it comes from. As you guys know, Islam and DJ, they had their little interview, exclusive interview, which I loved. You know what I'm saying? I did not watch the whole thing, but I did watch segments of specific things I want to hear about. So shout out to the timestamps in this video. However, Dagestanis are always hurt, and Hamza is included in this category. Hamza overtrains. Umar overtrains. Islam overtrains. Habib overtrains. They all overtrain, but it's not their fault that they overtrain. I think it's the culture there. I feel like they're so used to, like, in this interview that I'm going to get to, Islam talks about how, like, he's continuously working. He doesn't miss a single day of MMA. Like, every single day he's on go mode, and then once the camp starts, he goes balls to the wall. He goes crazy. So I want to just point at this thing that Islam said, that he pretty much opened up that, like, yeah, I still have that injury on my arm. If you guys remember, after the Dustin Poirier fight, he was actually supposed to fight Armin at the end of the year, but then he had a ligament problem in his arm, and then the fight got pushed back to here. But in this interview, he kind of said that, like, he's eventually gonna need surgery on it, but what he's doing right now is, like, he did rehab, so he's preventing the surgery till after his career ends, which I'm going to show you guys in a couple seconds. But I just think this is a problem. But is this going to be a problem for Islam? Brother, no, bro. This guy's a real bad man. Islam's good. He doesn't really need to be 100% healthy to beat people in this division. That's how good he is. But I'm just going to show you guys the injury I'm talking about, and I'm going to play the video right now.
No, after the Dustin, when I finished the fight, I have pain. My arm is pain, you know, but right arm is still pains, like 1 month, 2 months, and I go to do MRI, and I have some small
fractures,
ligament cut, you know. And I did like a lot of things to not make surgery, you know. It's not bother me now, but doctors say after, when you're retired, when you have time, you have to do some like small surgery.
Yeah, so essentially what he's saying here is, like, yeah, after the Dustin fight, I did hurt my arm. You know, months go by, my arm's still hurting. It's like, I'm wondering what's happening. So then he ended up getting the MRI, and that's where he showed he got there's something wrong with his ligament. Like, it's got cut, his ligament got cut through or something. So his doctors pretty much, they know his profession. They know he's a fighter. They're not gonna be like, okay, dude, you have to have surgery. You gotta be up for this period of time, because it's probably gonna take a long recovery time, and Islam just doesn't have time for that right now. So Islam is doing what I call, you know, let me finish my career and then let me have surgery. I don't know what to call that shit, but he's a real bad man. He's moving like a real bad man. Listen, and I respect this from Islam. He doesn't want to be that champion that, like, has to, like, hold up the division by getting surgery. And now that you got surgery, now you got to wait a couple months before you fight. Now everyone in the division's crying. And now they want an interim belt on the line. He's doing this to stay active. So he's kind of like he's big broing it. He's like, all right, bro, I'm hurt. But who cares? Everyone's hurt, brother. He's still training. He's still being tough. And I do think it's just the culture in Dagestan. And I'm gonna show you guys a specific clip about when he talks about how much weight he cuts. Because first of all, people think Islam's huge. Oh, dude, Islam's like 190, dude. He's not. And he actually tells us his weight, like, right in this interview. Keep in mind, people like Ilya, who fought at 145, who were like 180, walking around that weight, 175, 180. Maybe not 175, 180. His manager did say 190. Ilya walks around 190. I don't believe that. I'm assuming Ilya's like 170 something, but like 190 is pushing it. But point being said, Islam does talk about how much he cuts weight, and I'm gonna show you guys what he said.
Talk to you about how much weight do you cut? Like, how big do you get?
Today morning, I go to the UFCPI. I'm in shape. I training. I'm not cut weight. I don't follow like diet.
Yep.
I eat everything. My weight 180 this morning.
180.
That's crazy. So keep in mind, when you start weight cutting, you're on a diet restriction. You're actively exercising to lose the pounds. He's just being himself. He's just training right now. He hasn't started the weight cut. He's eating whatever he wants. He's not like, yeah, dude, I can't eat this because, and he was 180 in this. So that shows you that he's big. Yeah, of course, 180 is like decently sized for 155, but people trying to act like he's Pereira maxing. I gotta say Pereira maxing, who's like cutting from 230 to 185. He's not doing that. He's not cutting that absurd amount of weight. Yes, he is cutting a good amount of weight, but it's not atypical. Like, I feel like it's very common. People around 155 are actually like 178, 170, 180 maybe. He's like he's just in the average. So this whole narrative, oh dude, Islam's a weight bully, dude. He's not. And now you know he's not. Now you feel dumb. I just hate that narrative, bro. Too much Islam's a weight bully narratives going on. Like, I can't be asked about that.
80.
Yes.
Oh god. You're massive.
I think because all fighters who fight 155,
oh yeah, they're
minimum they have 178, 177.
Yeah. What do you get to when you're not in camp? Like you just at home relaxing. You're
I'm
training
not
every
that
day.
guy who eat everything, you know.
Gotcha.
I always try to don't eat like in the nighttime. I don't like the
not
sugar.
DC Max.
I don't drink cola like maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't drink soda, you know. My weight maximum 182, I think.
182. Gotcha. So you always
So that's him outside of camp. So he's just in camp, Kenny. That's why outside of camp 182 max. This is when he's not. But the thing is, like, notice what he says right there though. He says, "I'm not the type to like eat junk food. I'm training every day. Like it's every day for me." Which yes, that is why he's kind of like maintaining around that 180, 182 even outside of camp. But that's also why I feel like they're injury prone. Something about the Caucasus region, I feel like they even Marab. You can see Marab like his struggles with injuries after the Sugar fight. He was taking antibiotics. He was recovering from an injury. Umar, even in his upcoming fight, something about these guys, I feel like they're so based in just like MMA is their life, and it is their life, of course. And I'm sure a lot of fighters do this, but I feel like the regimen that the Dagestanis do is a little bit more excessive and definitely more heavy on the wrestling aspect compared to any other region. I'm not trying to region compare right now, but let's be real. Dagestanis are probably one of the hardest workers in the world. I'm gonna say it, bro. I feel like the way they train's a little bit different than like what average people would say. Yo, dude, that's a hard training session, dude. I was kickboxing mad cowabunga rounds, dude. Brother, these are real mountain guys. You know, they wrestle bears a little bit. You know, maybe invite bears in the gym. Brother, they don't go 2-3 years Dagestan and forget, brother. Whole life Dagestan, they never forget. The only reason I'm kind of linking this with the injuries because I feel like what he said right there, even outside of camp, he's not the type to like stop training. I feel like that kind of puts him in a situation where he's kind of overtraining, and I feel like that's not the best for your body as far as longevity is concerned. A lot of people point to Khabib. People forget Khabib was when he beat RDA, he should have had a title like a fight later or 2 fights later, but he beats RDA, then he has to take like years off of his whole career because he's injured. It's hard for Dagestanis to stay healthy, and I feel like it's a negative, but since they're so good because they train so much, it's also a positive. It's just almost a double-edged sword because it can lead to inactivity with like people you see with Hamza Chimaev. And thank God for Islam, he's toughing it out. He's not gonna like take the surgery because Khabib, I'm not gonna say it's a mistake, but Khabib had to kind of get that surgery after the RDA fight, which is why he couldn't fight in so long. Came back like 3 years later, and then he returned. Islam is at that point of his career. He's already the champion. He don't have time for that. You're not going to have surgery. Khabib was a contender at the time, so it made a little bit more sense. But I like Islam for toughening out. But I feel like it's kind of crazy how they overexert themselves a little bit in these training sessions. But nonetheless, he's still going to go in there. He's going to try to whoop Arman Tsarukyan. So I just want to play this, what he says about the Arman Tsarukyan fight in general, because, of course, I want people to know the first fight was good. But there's a reason the fight looked like that, bro. Islam, being a goofball, didn't do his homework. But to be fair, with short notice, Islam's like he doesn't know anyone who can match his wrestling. So this guy Arman Tsarukyan comes in, he doesn't do no research on him. So imagine you're Islam, bro. You have an upcoming fight with some guy making the UFC debut. You know nothing about them, and then they actually happen to be a really good wrestler. That's what Arman Tsarukyan was to Islam Makhachev. I feel like it's almost like a Umar Beksa situation. Like, was it a 30-27? Yes, but was it competitive in some aspects? Of course. But this is what Islam himself had to say about it.
talk about your next opponent, right? It's a rematch. Right. And obviously I feel that's going to be the X factor in this fight is that your guys' wrestling is, I want to say it's equal, but the wrestling scramblings from the first time you guys fought was pretty intense. Right. I feel your striking is a lot better. Your movement, you have a nice rhythm on your feet. You throw the body kick. He likes to circle because you're southpaw, super wide. Obviously you feel good going to this fight, but how are you looking different at this fight? Because you can go back and watch that fight and you have everything covered. You're doing the striking, you're doing the wrestling, you're doing jiu-jitsu.
Well-rounded
king.
So
how do you feel about this fight? It's a rematch. Because you've done rematches before.
When I fought with him first time, honestly, maybe I'm underestimate him because this guy just... I saw him in the UFC.
Yeah.
Because in the Russia, nobody want to come to Russia and fight with me. It's the event in the Russia. It was in Russia, and they're looking for some opponent, for me. And like before 1 month, they call me. We will sign some guy. He have good records. He's gonna be your next opponent. And in my mind, I think who is gonna come like out and from UFC and give me like
a hard time in wrestling.
Yeah. But I don't watch his fighting, He come and
see, that's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna try to get on Islam for not doing his homework. To be fair, like if someone calls you a 1 month notice gonna go against Islam, Islam's like, I know who I am. Like no one on 1 month notice is gonna come in here and try to compete with me in the grappling at all. Turns out the guy who came in is a very good grappler, good wrestler. So that's why I feel like the fight looked at that. And I'm not trying to discredit Arman. Arman's still a very skilled fighter, but I feel like people aren't understanding like what Islam was thinking in his head. Islam, bro, who's gonna, if you say this now, that someone's gonna come in on a month's notice and beat Islam will probably have the same exact reaction. Like, I'm not gonna do homework. But a guy making their debut, like, come on. It's just there's a lot of things I feel like Islam was underestimating him. And I feel like this is good. Like he did against Volkanovski. You guys don't remember. He underestimated Volk, I think. Who's this short guy? Bring him here. Brother, he went to war. He went to war with Volk after that. Fucking Volk in his, like, bald head, you're trotting forward and actually putting the work against him. But in the rematch, brother, no questions. Oh, dude, Volk is on short notice, dude. You know, dude, Volk, he wasn't against Cowabunga. Yeah, right, bro. Nah, he was obviously on short notice. Just like Usman was on 10 days notice against Hamza. Usman didn't get flatlined like that, though, in the first round. Just saying. That being said, I'm just saying, like, I understand the excuses, but Islam, once he does his homework, bro, and you try to rematch this guy, just know, brother, dale, he's going to whoop you. And I want you guys to see this clip, too, because this clip makes me feel some type of way. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think this clip's important right here.
That Darsh, you hit me 2 times a day.
Submission of the year.
Yeah, submission of the year. Why'd you do that to me?
No, we did drills, man.
That wasn't a drill. That was a drill. You laughed. You laughed at the second time. You said, "Uh-oh, again?"
It was drills. It's my favorite choke.
That's your favorite choke?
Yeah. That's why you see the moment when I close my arm and I finish Poirier. Usman right away jumped to the cage. He told me, when you close the arm, I know it's going to be finished. That's why I started running.
Wow.
Hey, man, listen, first of all, listen to the amusement. Listen what he said there. That's my favorite submission. Usman Nurmagomedov, the one of the best in Bellator, of course you guys know, probably a future UFC champion if he converts. He says, once you locked your arm, I knew it was over. Chat, hear me out. Arman Tsarukyan, I think he might be going to sleep, bro. I think Tsarukyan might be going to sleep just because Tsarukyan was doing something weird in the first fight that I noticed. He was shooting on Islam, even though all the takedowns are mostly getting stuffed and wizard. Brother, one bad shot from Arman Tsarukyan, bro. We're not Charles Oliveira. Yeah, I said we, brother. You know, we're a team. You know, me, Islam, brother. You know, the Dagestan. We're a team, brother. We're not novices. You know, we're not novices in this shit. You shoot that, bro. You expose your neck once, brother. That Darsh choke getting locked in. And once he locks those arms, like Usman said, it's wraps, bro. But nah, this interview overall, like, I liked it. I love when Matty Mouse does these sit downs with fighters. Listen, Islam versus Arman has no hype attached to it, bro. I'm not even trying to hype. Like, I feel like Umar Marab's the real main event, but, you know, I'm trying my best, chat. I want to make this fight a little bit more hype, so I'm going to glaze. I'm going to glaze Islam this fight week, brother. This guy's going to go in there and win. And yes, of course, he might be going through something. Brother, everyone goes through something, you know what I'm saying? Injury or not, I bet a lot of fighters are injured and waiting to get surgery at the end of their career. Maybe not a lot, but, like, Islam's good enough to a point where I'm not really worried about this injury. I think of course, it's had some importance to it, but Arman Tsarukyan, out of everyone, you know, he's not going to be the one to stop Islam. Even though he's well-rounded, everything he does, Islam does better. And I'm going to say this. The only thing I'm worried about is if Islam wins this fight and then the arm is like it's getting worse or it's starting to accumulate and get even worse to a point where he needs surgery, that's the only thing I'm nervous about. Other than that, bro, I could give two. Like, I think it's okay. I think injuries are normal, but I just don't want him to, you know, have the injury accumulate into something serious where he needs some emergency surgery, then he's out for a long period of time. But that's it for me, bro. Just want to go over this interview a little bit because, you know, Islam Makhachev, brother, you know, pound for pound king. I'm going to keep glazing my goat. But that's it for me. Hope you had a good one and God bless. 2, 3, 4.